trying that again. Good morning, genealogy friends. Although it's not really morning, it's 11:30. It's kind of morning here in Salt Lake City. It's nice to be here. It's been so long. We're almost to the end of March and I feel like I'm just starting to get this year under control. So hopefully this will have just been the weird winter where I was not available. I'm back. I've got new pages. I have things to talk to you about. I don't know how many of you were pretty sure that I was not going to be able to get a 1950 census page out, but I did. There it is. We'll talk more about it in a second. Let me flip this around. Oh, hello. I am virus free. We actually have a cold running through the house, but I don't have it. So everybody cross your fingers that I will just be able to skip by with zinc and tea. I'm not even going to talk about all of my nonsense. I'm just going to talk about the 1950 census because it's coming up. So the US 1950 census is coming out on April 1st. And that's very exciting for lots of reasons because, we got to wait 72 years for the census to come out. The kind of fun thing about the 1950 census is that it's really sort of the last one that has a lot of questions. So I will be excited to see the 1960 census, especially because that'll be the first one that my parents are on. But the 1950 census is the last time that a census is going to be like really exciting, other than just figuring out where people live. Deals with the 1950 census. So the census is going to be free to everybody. You don't have to have an Ancestry account or anything like that to see the census. But when they first put it out, it's not going to be really easily searchable. It will be searchable, which is pretty impressive because they're using AI. What is it? I don't know if it's character recognition or what they're using, but they're using some kind of program to make it searchable by name, but it's going to be imperfect because it'll take time for researchers to go through it and sort of double check the work of the computer and figure out if those names are correct and things like that, based on handwriting, all that sort of stuff. So searching the US Census by name is one option when it first comes out, but the other option and the more, what do I want to say? Not secure. This isn't COVID brain. This is just me being dumb. Reliable, I guess. Fail-proof? I don't know. If you can't find somebody searching by their name, what's the other way that you can find them? Well, the other way is to know their enumeration district. So I made 2 pages for the 1950 census. This is the census page. I'm going to add it to the US Census bundle, and I'm going to sell it on its own, but I'm not adding it to the 200-page bundle because that would be too many pages. And then this is the 1950 census prep page. So these 2 pages plus a blank page actually that says 1950 US Census, which I just realized I didn't include and I need to go back and include. So I'm not going to I was going to put the listing up while I was live and now I'm not because I want to make sure that you also get the blank one that says 1950 US Census on the side. Those 3 pages are going to be in the 1950 census bundle. Now this one you won't be able to do anything with until the actual census gets released on April 1st and you find your people. But in the meantime, you can use this one to get ready. So there's a place to put names because, theoretically you would have a household here if you were pretty sure that you know who's living together. And then their address and then their enumeration district and whether or not you found them in the 1950 census. So what you're going to do is you're going to list people that you're expecting to find in the 1950 census, your living ancestors who were alive at that time, and then fill in their address. How do you find their address? This is where you look at telephone directories, city directories. You can look at, if you're pretty sure that the place that they lived in 1940 is the same place, then you can guess based off of that. You can try to find records for property. You can try to find correspondence where, you're looking for, and don't just look for 1950, 1948, 1949. I mean, people didn't necessarily move around as much as we all do now. Once you've filled in their address, then you can figure out their enumeration district. The best website to do that is to use this one. And I was going to show you on my computer, but my computer has a tendency to kick me off. So this is the website that everybody uses. It's stevemorse.org. But if you just Google Census ED Finder or Unified Census ED Finder, you'll come to this. And they have it set up now that it goes straight to 1950. But if for some reason yours goes to a different year, this is where you can pick which year you're looking for the enumeration district. Anyway, go to 1950, and then it's going to have these drop downs for state, county, city, or town, and you'll be able to figure out what the enumeration district is for that address. Now, when the census comes up, if you've got the names in the enumeration district, it's not like it's going to tell you, okay, exactly where you're going to be able to find that person, but the enumeration districts, they're not really that big. It's much easier to browse an enumeration district looking for your ancestors than it is to browse like the entire state of California looking for your ancestors. So this page, oh, don't even tell me my voice is leaving. That's not funny. This page is your best friend until the census comes out, because if you've got this set, then when the census comes out, you can just fly through and find all of these people and then transcribe their information, put it into your notebooks, and, you know, use this as the jumping off point to then do more research. The interesting thing about the census is that, well, I mean, it's not really interesting. It's not like this is the first time they've done that, but they've got the questions that they ask everybody, and then they have these questions that they only ask certain numbers. So up here, this is the information they're getting for everybody. And then depending on which line you're on, you may have answers to this one. There's actually a fair number of sample lines though. It's not like, remember when the mortality schedule was like every, I don't know, it was like 2 people per sheet or something like that. This is, I think, I want to say 5 or 6 people per sheet. So you've got a fair chance that somebody in the household is going to end up on one of the sample lines. And then there are some places for other notable people in the dwelling. There's not that many because I had to squish it. I mean, this is the same font size as for the 1940 census, and that's as small as I feel like I can go because, you know, I fill these in by hand on my iPad, and even zoomed in, I have a hard time writing that much. And sometimes when I've written that small and then I, you know, zoom back out, I'm like, oh, that's really hard to read because now the entire page is ink. So anyway, you're going to have to use the supplemental page, the one that has the census continuation that works for all of the censuses. You'll need to use that if you've got more people in the dwellings. Yeah, but that is, and there's a chance, you know, if you can't find the enumeration district, or let's say you find the enumeration district and they're not on there, then, and you're trying to search by name and they're not on there, remember that there's always going to be reasons why you can't find somebody in the census, but the reason is not usually that they like missed your ancestor or they just didn't go down that street or didn't do that apartment building or something like that. People were missed sometimes when they were traveling. People could be in there under the wrong surname, depending on where they got the information from. It's possible that they moved and you just have the wrong enumeration district, and then those 2 things are working against you. So be patient, because the volunteers are going to work on the 1950 census really quickly. And so the searchability is going to be incredible. I would say like 2 months later. I mean, I really think it's going to go fast. I know I'm part of a party of people that's getting together to just hang out and do census stuff because I'm a giant nerd and my friends are giant nerds and we're really excited. So yeah, just be patient. There's also a chance, you know, sometimes when they missed a household, instead of putting it with all of the neighbors, they'll put it at the end of the sheet. So if you find the enumeration district and you go through it and it's like, you're like, okay, well, here's this address and here's this address and my address should be right in the middle and it's not there, go to the end of the pages for that enumeration district and just double check, because sometimes that's what the enumerator was doing, because they didn't really know how many spots to leave open to come back, because they'd have to know how many people were in the household. But yeah, I'm super excited. super, super excited for the 1950 census. I actually don't have a huge number of people who are going to be on it. My parents weren't born yet, and most of my half of my great-grandparents had already passed away by 1950, so I have sort of a small grouping. So I'm looking for a lot of aunts and uncles and then extended cousins, but still, that's that fan research thing. You don't want to skip those people. Don't just look for your direct ancestors. Anyway, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link to the Unified Census ED Finder on this live, and then I'm going to go add the blank 1950 census page to the bundle and then get that listing up, and then I'll put the link to the listing on the live as well. That'll probably take me about 20 minutes. So if you're if you're watching right now, watching me live, then you need to give me about 20 minutes. And if you're not watching me live, then it's probably already up. And I do have so many other new pages, but I wanted to start with the 1950 census one because I keep getting emails from people being like, have you quit? Where are you? The census is coming out. But I made it with 10 days to spare. All right. It was good to talk to you guys. I'm going to go work on that. Thank you for being patient with me, and I will see you again on Wednesday. And I will not lose my voice because I refuse to lose my voice anymore this year. All right. See you then.